the most famous goal of Chris Billy's life.
Is this the moment for Lee Fowler? It is. Take your place in Division 2, Huddersfield Town.
Ruby and Steve Simonson's boots now. He's missed. Steve Simonson clears the frame of the goal and collapses in a heap of tears. Huddersfield Town are promoted.
Mustafa Schindler has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance!
Ho, 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 and welcome to a very merry pre-Christmas Huddersfield Town Social, part of the Andy Takes That Chance network. I've always wanted to spend Christmas in New York. Just a shame it was a New York stadium. The weather was freezing. The first 20 minutes of football was dire, and the away end Grinchers were ready to belt out their festive carols of Grant out. But then what unfolded could only be described as a Christmas miracle. Lyndon Gooch got our bells jingling with a well-finished goal on 26 minutes. Radulovic's brilliantly lobbed finish 4 minutes later was a fairy tale in New York, and this St. Nick was fully ready to empty his sack after seeing Castledean's header putting the Terriers 3-0 up at half-time. Alas, the second half was about as appetising as a turkey at Kilroy's Christmas dinner table, and for a side that has less clean sheets than Bonnie Blue's bed laundry, it was no surprise that in the 95th minute, Mr. Scrooge Sam Nom scored to put a minor dampener on our Christmas spirit. But ultimately, a 3-1 win provided a nice early Christmas present, and no doubt comes as a huge relief to Lee Grant. Looks like he won't be having his stand turn at Christmas dinner after all. Is this the season's turning point, or is it just another false dawn? For tonight's Town Social Christmas party, I'll be your host with the most, Waffle. Nick Barlow, always happy for you to pull his cracker, it's Andy Kay. Swigging the snowballs, it's Stephen Shepherd, and lurking somewhere with a mistletoe is Mr. Gaz Kay. Gents, how are we doing after a win, finally? Ready for Christmas?
Well, how can we follow that? How can we follow that? Probably one of the best intros you've ever done there. So much smut and innuendo, my friend. It was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, when you've got Kilroy coming on saying amateur hour, where you are after he's ducked out last minute, chicken
says
down.
Him, yeah. Says him.
Nah, his kid's ill, to be fair, mate. I hope he gets
back to your sea of vomit. Back to your sea of vomit, young man.
He'll be getting his nut roast ready. That's what he'll be doing.
Yeah, we will, yeah.
Jed Robinson, Nightmare has arrived in town. Well, why aren't you on here then, mate? We said.
Does that mean he's here? Does that mean he's actually in the country?
Must be.
Come on,
let us know, mate, and come on. Ben England, hi, mate. Good as always to see you listening. Mark Harrison, is Gaz on the Bojan train yet? Well, Gaz, I'm going to come to you first, mate.
How long that'd take. I was wondering how long before somebody fucking tried it on.
Come on then, guys. Look. 3-1 away from home on a cold day in Rotherham. Don't get much better than that, does it, Gaz? How was your... Because me, you and Andy went to this. Just summarise your thoughts on the day in general, mate, and then we'll go into some details of it. But do you enjoy your time at Rotherham?
Enjoy might be stretching it a bit. I enjoyed it, but I had a really good parking space, which I was very...
He did.
Great.
Yeah, he did.
I think in the beer house, in the pub. I don't like call it beer house. in the pub before the game, I think we were pretty confident that Town were probably going to come away with something. Rotherham were in as bad, if not worse, form than Town were. I think their identical record over the last 5 have been identical, haven't it? Well, they've pretty much been in free fall. Their key players have been out injured. They've got a new manager, a bit like us, a guy who's never managed before. The difference is he's a Rotherham fan, of course, so he knows what the club's about, and I guess the fans like him for that reason. And the game, to be honest, at first, it was a really weird game. Shane Kill's not here to give you his tactical insight, but it was really weird because at first they did to us what Wigan did, which they were sticking the ball in behind the wing backs and finding a bit of joy down the side. They had a couple of really quick wingers. And then we got away with one, really. I think they had a goal disallowed. I'm not sure what for, a push or a foul in the middle. And then after that, they just seemed to stop doing it, and they allowed us to get on the ball a little bit. But it was Leo Castledine really that suddenly turned it on, and he was involved in all 3 goals really. The ball for Bojan, winning the ball back high for Gooch to put the cross in for his. For Gooch to put the ball in for Bojan's, and then of course he scored the 3rd himself. So it was sort of 15-20 minutes, I thought, of where we played all right. But let's be honest, Rotherham didn't offer much opposition, did they? And we've said this a few times this year. They're the worst team I've seen this season, but they're definitely the worst team I've seen this season.
If there's any Rotherham fans listening to this, I'm so sorry, but I honestly, and you can come on and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not just saying this to antagonise, but that's the worst team I've seen all season. I thought they were absolutely woeful. And my mate next to me, I think before they scored at the end, he looked at some of the stats he pointed out, and the XG was like 0.09 before that went in, which tells you everything, doesn't it? About the potency of their attack, or maybe the strength of our defence. I don't know, maybe spinning that way. But yeah, Andy, 3-5-2, changing to sort of 5-3-2 times. I was really pleased to see Bojan and May up front, mate. You know, a lot of Town fans falling for it, weren't they? Big target man, and Alfie May running off him in behind. So I was excited to see how it worked, and I thought it worked pretty well, to be fair. Alfie May did a lot of the running around, trying to drag defenders away, and Bojan, I thought, failed. You know, he got a few flick-ons of the ball well, and we'll talk about the goals in detail in a bit. But yeah, I thought Grant got it right, mate, with the tactics. What did you think when you saw the team sheet?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious that they were going to try and hammer it forward and get after it. They're quite a physical team. They were the last 2 seasons that we've played there. They're hard-working team, but obviously lack a bit of finesse. And you were a bit worried that they were going to lump it onto Bolker. So having 3 at the back meant that I mean, Hugo, I don't rate as a footballer, but as a pain in the backside, he's up there with the, what's his name, that guy at Northampton Eves. He's as a bigger pain in the ass as him. So I think we negated him, and once we'd stopped those balls down the channels like guys were talking about, then they didn't really have much else to do. I thought they played some nice intricate stuff in midfield every now and again, you know, for 30 seconds or so. Then they'd have 15 minutes of complete mediocrity. I don't know what Killer would have done with his. I presume he's done his tactical stuff on. And he takes that chance, which that's they talk about tactics and stuff on there. We don't do that on here. But I don't see how you could analyse it, because it was one of the worst games of football I've ever seen in my life. Particularly in the first 20 minutes, it was just we couldn't get the ball down, we couldn't pass it around, we couldn't impose ourselves on the game because of what they were trying to do. But they did it so badly that it was just an inconvenience to us. So it was just an awful game of football. And then 15 minutes of pretty good play from us broke out, and then it went back to being an awful game after that. So it was great to the quality of the goals was, because obviously we were in the same sort of area, weren't we? It was a long way, felt like a long way away to see the goals going in at the other end, particularly Bojan's lovely lob. We weren't really sure it had gone in or not until he sort of ran off and fell over. He's not very good at his celebrations, bless him. But he's got. It just was a satisfactory performance, but and it's bought our friend Mr. Grant a bit more time, I think, because I was in the Grant out camp last. And I don't know whether I'm back in the Grant in camp or I'm out and in and out shaking it all about. I don't know, but it was just turgid for the first 20, and then a bit of football broke out, and then got turgid again. So he's still got a lot of work to do to convince me that he's the right man to stay. But I know we'll come on to that.
Yeah, and I've seen Mark Harrison has put on here, maybe Rotherham were caught out a bit by Town's more direct style, and we have been prating about the back for too long. And maybe this shows a little bit of a shift in Grant, you know, maybe a little bit of learning, because we were a lot more direct, weren't there? And I think it did catch him out a little bit. Didn't always look great on the eye, let's be honest, but I thought, for the goals, which we'll get into, the movement and the 3 really good goals. It's just the rest of it was dire. I think I messaged on this is dire after like 20 minutes, and then 20 minutes later 3-0 up. So
the thing for me was they just seemed to have a bit more. They had a bit more about them. I don't know whether they're going to Dublin and having a few pints of the black stuff has created a bit of team spirit, but they just seem to put a bit more in. There seemed to be a bit more energy, a bit more. It wasn't quality play, but there was a robustness in the tackle. Ledson, actually won a 50-50 at some point during the game. He seemed to spend most of the game heading the ball straight up in the air, but at least he was in the right place and the ball wasn't going past him. So it just felt like there was a bit more spirit about them. There was a few, particularly when we scored the second goal, you can see, if you look from one of those angles that Town show you, it shows you Lowe stood watching, and you can see Lowe properly celebrate when that, I think it's Bojan's goal goes in. And I'd not seen stuff like that happening. It felt like there was a little bit of, there were little maybe cliques or individuals playing, but not as part of a team. And I just felt a little bit more a sense of team about them on Saturday. It wasn't great, but I think we got dragged down to Rotherham's level to a certain extent, and that's the worry for me with the quality of squad that we've got. We should be good enough to get the ball and do what we want to do with it, but we weren't able to, apart from those 15 magic minutes. So there's some good signs, but we're nowhere near where we need to be. Let's see what happens in the next couple of games for me.
I think that's sort of reflected in the comments, Andy. I'm not going to bring them all up, but I'm just looking now. I'm glancing at a lot of people are saying, look, it's we're still not convinced just yet. It's a lot of likening it to Mansfield away, where we showed some glimpses of a resurgence and then suddenly it all went to pieces again. So I think we're all happy, but a little bit tentative. Fortunately, we've got a couple of winnable home games to try and build some momentum. But Steve, the first talking point in the first half, let's get back to this first half, mate. And I don't know if you've seen the Rotherham disallowed goal, but it's a corner that's whipped in. Now, I'm assuming it's given for a push on Ledson that then goes into Nichols and then falls over and then he's given it. But to me, looking back at it, at the time, I thought I'd just missed something when I was watching. And to be fair, none of the Rotherham players were really creating a massive fuss about it. So I just assumed that it was a foregone conclusion. But looking back at it, I'm not sure what he's given it for. It just looks a really soft one to me. And I'm not sure if we've got away with one there, mate.
Definitely got away with one, I think. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think what bumped into each other, didn't they?
Well, it seemed to me like the Rotherham player held Ledson in the same position, like they're having a bit of a cuddle, a tentative cuddle on a Saturday night. And then because of that, he acted as a blocker for Nichols. So Nichols came and hit them both. Now, I think the referee must have given it for a guy holding Ledson in one place. But like you said, there were no complaints from the Rotherham players. And if that had been disallowed against Town, I'd have been going absolutely ape at that, because there was absolutely nothing there. We have 100%, in my view, got away with one there. When he was a fussy referee all the way through, it was an absolute pain in the arse in terms of where the ball was played from, free kicks wise, but letting him run 20, 30 yards up the touchline and take throw-ins from wherever they wanted, really, both teams. It was bad for both sides. But that's the only thing that I could think of, that he deliberately created a block for the guy at the back post to put it back in, and he said, no, we're not having that. So that was the only reason I could see it was disallowed for.
But how many times do you see that in our league?
Exactly, it's going on all the time. Going on all the time. So maybe crazy. This was the week we're going to penalise them, and we'll go back to not penalising them next week.
It's a bit similar to Mully Wallace incident, isn't it, in the Wigan game, where should he have been sent off? And we've actually, I think, had two. Yeah. Do you not think so, mate? I mean, we're not going to go talk about it now because it's been and gone, but I think we've got two decisions there. I'm not sure, mate. If that's later on in the game, it might be a different outcome there. I think he was lucky that it was so early. And I honestly, like with this decision, that could be two good decisions that's gone for us there. Maybe. But we've had a lot that haven't gone for us, haven't we?
I must admit, when they were all sprinting towards the referee in the first minute, I thought, Liberty gibbets, I thought. And I wasn't surprised to see him get booked. But for me, it wasn't malicious. It wasn't a deliberate thing. His foot's got to go somewhere. And it's ended up sort of catching the kid. But he's gone down like he's been absolutely shot, as is the way of the world, isn't it? But for me, unintentional booking. Lad's got up and played on. No red card for me. But obviously that's last week's game, isn't it?
First goal, we started to take control after that incident. Maybe it gives a bit of a kick up the backside there, and we remembered we actually had to play some football if we were gonna beat Rotherham. I thought the first goal was really nice. It's to me, Bojan, he's had a lot of critics, and rightly so. The last couple of years have been, well, non-existent really, but it's great to see him playing with a bit of confidence, and it's a great bit of chest control down from him. And he cuts inside, and he's got 3 different options there who he could play it to. I think Rowan's coming up on the outside. You've got May to the right side, and he sees Gooch making a nice, intelligent run in, and it's just a nice little, perfectly weighted ball across. He doesn't panic, lays it off to Gooch, and it's a great first-time finish. And Bojan, he's got a decent number of assists as well as goals, and he's from nowhere. The bloke's becoming our most important attacking player, other than Castledine. I thought it was a really nice work goal out of nowhere, really.
It was. I think if you're a Rotherham fan, if you're the Rotherham manager, you're fuming at that, really, because Castledine picks the ball up under no pressure by watching our centre midfield shuffle over. But the ball into Bojan's an absolute beaut. He controls it well. As you're right, he's got choices, but Gooch makes such a great run. But if you watch the video back, he runs past 2 Rotherham players, neither of whom go with him, and the centre half sees him coming and still doesn't go towards him. So the run's a really good one. But if you're a Rotherham fan, you'd be saying, well, 1 or 3 blokes there either stops him or gets involved, and he didn't. But it was a tidy finish because I think Cameron Dawson in their goal, he's ex-Wednesday, I think. When is it Wednesday? He was a decent Laker. So it's not like they've got a shit keeper in there. But with all 3 goals, he had absolutely no chance. And a really cool finish by. We couldn't tell who it was from because we were obviously so far away.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was Castledine that had scored it. I didn't realise it was Gooch, because Gooch comes right from out on the right wing almost to make the run inside for the finish. So you're right, Nick. It was a lovely goal. It was the first decent bit of football in the entire match. Probably the first time we strung more than one pass together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good goal. I don't know who was it that asked me if I'm on the Bojan train. I'm not quite on the Bojan train yet. I might be on the platform, see if it turns up on time. I'm not quite on the Bojan train just yet. But look, I've been really critical of the lad, but you have to give credit where credit's due. And I thought first half, he was really effective, which is what I've criticised him for. He's been completely ineffective. I will point out, by the way, second half, when we reverted to type, he was fucking garbage second half, and he should have scored. So, good as he was in the first half, he was as bad in the second. But yeah, it was a lovely goal. But it was all about Leo Castedine's ball for me. Bojan made the run, and Castledine picked him out absolutely beautifully.
Yeah. It's nice to start seeing these little combinations starting to come together, and really that only happens by playing the same team. And I was pleased that he didn't make wholesale changes again, and I'm hoping that that's going to continue. The second goal, I think all of these guys, I think you're right, guys. I think all of these, if you're a Rotherham fan, you're thinking, where would defence for all of these? If you're a Town fan, you're thinking, well, these are nicely worked goals and nice finishes. And that's just football, I guess, isn't it? Both sides of the coin. But long ball over the top. Now May he runs to the right. He drags 2 defenders with him. The ball misses him completely, and it just goes through to Bojan, who makes a good run between 2 defenders, and he chips it. And it's silence in that away end, because we're all waiting to see if the ball goes over the bar. And it's only when he starts running away in celebration that the celebrations begin. And as you say, Andy, I like his celebrations because it's chaos.
Yeah.
At least it's entertaining.
There's always a love out somewhere knocking around. Isn't
there? Yeah. What a great finish, though, guys. I love that. I thought that's a striker with a bit of confidence there, because there's no way last season he would have scored a goal like that, is there?
No, you're right. I think he was helped by the fact that one of the things that I noticed about, obviously I was lucky enough to be chauffeured there and back by my friends, the other Mr. K on the podcast on Saturday, along with Mr. Kilroy. And there were a lot of the old net terriers there. So there were quite a few, as Coxey was there, and Dangerous and Crawley and all people like that. And it was Rotherham defended like we used to defend back in the day. So that second goal was absolutely typical of how I would have defended that ball across from Gooch. I completely missed it because May didn't touch it, so I anticipated him touching it, and he didn't touch it. So that's completely screwed me. And then it's a lovely finish. So their defending was absolutely amateurish. I mean, you look at the centre. I think they replaced at least 2, if not 3, of the back 4 at half time, and that tells you how badly they defended. I don't know who the lad was who was at centre half, who was marginally supposed to be marking Bojan, but he had an absolute nightmare. And even for the third goal, they've left a big gap for Castledine to wander into. To unmarked, had a great play by him to pick the spot and to pick the gap, but we were massively helped. I mean, some quality ball. That's a great knock across from Gooch, to be fair, but it shouldn't have got anywhere near getting into Bojan to get his little piece of skill. But it was a piece of skill. I thought it was going over from down the far end, but we are so far away, and then it just bobbed in, and then off he goes, and he flops around like a good one. So yeah, very exciting. 2-0 up with a bit of football's broken out for 10 minutes. It's what a day out we were having. Apart from the crowd, but I guess we can talk about the crowd at some point.
I know you're dying to talk about it, mate. I know you're not too happy with it, mate. But
yeah, interesting way of supporting your team. But there we go.
Listen, it's 4 goals and 4 assists for Bojan, and he's only started 7 games this season. He's only played in 11 games, 4 assists, 4 goals. You can't argue with that, really. He's fast becoming one of my favourites.
Having described him as the human Chris Packett in the past, I'm now trying to think of what an upgraded version of a Chris Packett is. So I don't know. Is he like a piece of polystyrene now? I don't know.
A Pringle tub. We've upgraded him to a Pringle tub.
To a Pringle tub. That's a very good analogy. I like that.
Well, as I said to Ian Kilroy on Saturday, there's a player in there somewhere, isn't the killer? I didn't say that.
No.
And then I didn't think it could get any better. A few minutes before the end of the half, good play from Castledine to win the ball back. I mean, he's close to fouling bloke, but he gets the ball back, harries him. It's worked out to the right side. Gooch cuts in. And I mean, I don't know who's supposed to be marking Castledine, but he's on his own. But I tell you what, it's a brilliant ball in. And all he has to do is get his head on it. And it's another great goal from our point of view. Yeah, you're annoyed as a Rotherham fan for the marking, but great to see again. And Castledine, he can't stop scoring. It's 7 goals now. 7 goals for him. Brilliant to see. But are we going to keep him beyond January? I guess
we'll see.
That's the question, isn't it? But yeah, another great goal, Stephen. We're all delirious in there at this point. We all think we've had one too many beers, and we're starting to see things. 3-0 up at half time.
He's just too good, isn't he, that Castledine? I know we're struggling at Shrewsbury last year, he was at.
Yeah, he was.
So he obviously struggled a bit with them, but he's just a different class in his. You can just tell with his touch, he drives everything on, and to be honest, would be foolbad without him, wouldn't we? To be fair, massively.
Yeah, he's quality.
He is quality. Just different class.
He has sort of dropped in and dropped out of games, particularly over the last. Even though he's big, but he's kept scoring. He's kept contributing. So whether he can pull if he could pull a full 90-minute performance in, you'd argue that he should be nowhere near League One. Maybe that's why he's with us at the minute. That he's not as consistent and doesn't contribute for as long in games as maybe Chelsea want to. I'm not so. I don't think that he'll get moved on somewhere else. Why would you get? He's been sent here for the season to develop, to be successful, and then probably get loaned out again next season. If we don't go up and try and buy him, then he will probably go somewhere in the Championship next season. It just feels like it's working perfectly from a development point of view for him. He's getting loads of time. He wouldn't have to settle in, go into another club or anything like that. Now, whether Chelsea would take the decision to do that doesn't make sense to me. They can test him. What is he? How old is he? I'm not sure how old he is.
21-ish.
21. There's plenty of time.
Yeah,
there's plenty of time for him to be tested at a higher level. So I don't know who the loans manager is. I think it's Josh Marsh, who was at Town, from what I understand. Whether he looks at that and goes, "There's no need to. If it ain't broke, don't fix it." Hopefully so, because if he does go, we've got a huge hole to fill. Now, whether Alves could come back in And Redmond, maybe if they're back getting towards fit again, maybe if that did happen, maybe they could. Because I was impressed by what little I saw of Alves before he did whatever he did to his foot. Whether they could pick up that mantle or not, but I suspect that if he did go, we'd have to get some other class in, because we lack that.
Anywhere. I don't think he's going anywhere either, Andy.
I don't think so.
He's not a Levi Colwill. You don't look at him and think, he could play in the Premier League.
No, you don't.
Levi Colwill, you looked at him, he physically looked like a man, the way he took to the professional game, and I think he's still probably got some work to do. He's not the tallest, he's not the broadest. Not many players with this physique succeed in the Premier League. You've got to be exceptional to play in the Premier League with a physique like this. And I'm not saying he can't or won't be. I'm not sure he's ready yet. I think he's playing games, and not only is he playing games, he's playing an important part in games and influencing games. So he's learning about controlling game. I think Chelsea will be really happy with his development here now he's going. And unless a top end Championship club came in for him, which he ain't going to be getting a game at Ipswich, is he? Or anywhere, it's not going to get him. He's struggling to get in the squad. So I think we'll see him for the season. I'm not sure we're going to see him back. I think when he goes, I'm not sure he'll be coming back. But yeah, I've been really impressed with him. I've been really impressed with his attitude as well. He comes across really level-headed. I guess having a dad who was an ex-pro and played at a good level really helps. I was reading the Athletic article where he was on about his dad kicking lumps out of him in the back garden. His dad never let him have easy ride. Yeah. He got him ready for men's football early doors, and that's clearly prepared him well for the life he's got. And he's got a disabled sister he comes across a really nice lad. He's clearly fitting him well. So good signing that whoever got to that one.
Well, with the way that the Chelsea model is now, there's no way he's getting anywhere near that team. So in my eyes, he's probably going to stay with us for the rest of the season. And then if he carries on performing, he's a top end Championship player, and they'll probably cash in on him, won't they? If somebody comes in at 5-6 million, he's gone, isn't he?
Yeah,
that's the Chelsea model, innit? They cash in on all these kids and then waste it on flops. Fucking Garnacho and all them shower of shit that they've got. Yeah. But that's their model, innit? Buy kids, and then hopefully one of them will be a superstar, and then they'll cash in on him, won't they? So if, like you say, if a top-end Championship team picks him up next season, or somebody that's coming down, might be at Bell End Road next year.
Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a top-end Championship team. I think he's really good in his finishings. Some of his finishes have been brilliant, but like you say, physique-wise, he's not screaming Premier League to me. It'd be more likely a team for me that gets promoted from League One to the Championship next season that's looking for that bit of creativity. I think it getting to one of them sides. I mean, hopefully that'll be us. I don't know, but it doesn't make any sense to get rid of him, does it? To take him out of a club that he's doing really well for, that he's settled in, to then move him on to another club where he's not guaranteed regular starts, and then he's got to adjust to that, which is notoriously difficult in January to get settled in and hit the ground running. It just don't make any sense, does it? I think it all came from his interview with Radio Leeds when I think Catherine Anna asked him, are you going to stay beyond Janet? And he said, well, it's not up to me, which it isn't. And that was it. And then
that was it.
That to mean, oh God, is he going then? Which, nah, I don't think he will. But
what else would Chelsea want from this loan? What else would they want for a young kid in terms of his development? That's because he's here. He's not here to win titles for Huddersfield Town. I mean, obviously that's not going to happen. But he's not here to do that. He's here to develop selfishly for Chelsea. What else would they want from him? He's scoring goals. He's contributing. He's developing. He's having to struggle with a bit of adversity as well, so that's going to help him. It's not all going to go swimmingly when he's playing 3 times a week. Fair point, Shep. So what else would they want from a loan to send a young player out to develop in League One? Why would they want to, in my view, risk that by reducing the game time that he's likely to get, unless they got a guarantee from a lower half Championship team that said, we guarantee we will play him in all of our games. And then I could understand maybe why they might want to do that. But at the minute, I don't see any. But I don't know a lot about this type of stuff, but it doesn't make any sense to me to want to move him. Fingers crossed anyway, because if he does, we're
screwed. It could still win titles, Andy. There's Champions of League One. There's Virtu, mate. Come on, there's still.
Virtu. Yeah, true.
We're not talking a lot about second half because fuck all happens really. I think there were a chance for Bojan had a short parry back keeper, and then Dion Charles, who had only been on the pitch for probably about 30 seconds, just blasts it straight at keeper, and really probably could have taken it round him if they'd have thought about it. Other than that, I think we created absolutely nothing that half. It was very, very uninspiring. To the point where I'm a bit pissed off, really, because you go to a place like that. Rotherham are absolutely at the floor in terms of confidence. Their fans had checked out. They couldn't even be bothered to sing because they were that pissed off. Half of them wanted to leave by half time. Atmosphere flat as a pancake in Omen. So you're thinking, come out second half, get another goal or two, get that goal difference up, because that might tell come the end of the season. And instead we're going to lose the half 1-0, which is so frustrating. And it's a poor goal to give away from our point of view. We're very congested centrally, and the ball bounces around and eventually finds its way to Nombe, who just twats it in. And Nichols didn't really have much chance with it, but it's just, you could see the players were really frustrated. But it's just that bit of floppiness at the end, and it just takes that bit of gloss off it. And a game, really, we should be winning 4-5-0 from that situation. We end up only getting a goal difference of +2 from, which is what we need to work on.
Well, they made 3 defensive changes at half time, didn't they? So 3 of the back 5, the manager swapped them at half time. So he was as furious about their first half performance at the back as probably the fans were. So they were never going to be as bad as they were first half. If you're League Grant, you're going to be going, listen, lads, game's won. Be professional, keep it tight. Don't give out stupid away. And in fairness, we almost did those things. And I think if it had been a 0 second half, I could have accepted that we did enough. We were professional second half. We didn't break out, we didn't break his neck, but we probably had the best chance to score a goal. But the goal we gave away were shocking. And it's just as well, Nombe was off injured for most of the game. Because if he'd have played, I think our back 3 might have had a completely different afternoon than they did against Hugill, who, for some bizarre reason, by the way, I forgot to mention this before, he kept putting himself on Murray Wallace. My assumption when Hugill was playing was he was going to put himself on Bolker and beat the shit out of Bolker for 45 minutes to see where that got him. And he kept putting himself on Murray Wallace. So the only thing Murray Wallace is any good at is having a scrap and headed ball away. So I don't really know why he chose to do that. But it was disappointing, really, because I'm with you. They're playing towards the fans. They should be trying to rebuild it. 3-0 up anyway. A goal or a couple of goals in second half wouldn't have had, as you say, it would have sent a lot of people away much happier, because people have still said, well, we only won 3-0, as though that's some kind of terrible result. But when you're 3-0 at half time against a team as bad as that, they've got a bit of a point. Do you know what I mean? And the other thing as well in the second half, I want to mention was something you mentioned before, Andy, about team spirit. And there was one near the end where Bojan did a Bojan. That thing he does where he pretends he's hurt his face. That was really fucking winds me up. So he fell over. Cameron Dawson came out of his net, started dragging him up. And then Bojan was it May that got involved? Somebody from town got involved.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when it all finished and Refford got involved, fucking Lenton jogs over to have a word. I don't know if we said it in the Takes That Chance WhatsApp chat. Might be Cozy actually, but saying a proper team. Once that keeper put his hands on Bojan, 3 or 4 players should have been sprinting to get involved. Yeah. Get your fucking hands off my mate. Don't you touch my fucking mate. He's my, there were none of that. They all just stood watching from halfway line, and eventually, as I say, Ledson jogged over to have a conversation with the referee when it were all over. So that whole, I'm not sure about the team spirit thing, and it's really easy to be celebrating goals when you're 2 and 3-0 up. I want to see that spirit when things are tough, and that's the bit we haven't seen. Where we're not seeing any spirit when the going gets hard. The 2 previous games, that's what I was looking for, and we didn't get it. I think if Rotherham hadn't have been so shy, you do have to question, would we come away with a 3-1 win? Possibly not. But you can only beat what's in front of you, right? So Grant set them up. We turned up. We won 3-1. So I've been bemoaning the fact we aren't winning games when we don't play well when we did. But yeah, I'm not sure about the team spirit thing. That was really disappointing for me. That I would have expected 3 or 4 players steaming into Cameron Dawson and having a go at him, but it never happened.
On the flip side of that, Gill was lobbing his elbows about, as is his one. I think he did that last time 10 years ago. He was doing that for Preston, wasn't he? And he clattered somebody, and there were 3 or 4 of them in that instance. Wallace, Lowe, Ledson. There were 3 or 4 of them giving him some fucking shit. Now, whether or not it was more of a "don't do that again, you naughty boy" type of stuff, but there was a little bit of a step up. I can't remember who got clattered. It might have been Rowan that got clattered, and there was no coming together and pushing and shoving, which we all love to see, don't we? And you're right, that should have been happening. I think with Bojan getting that Dawson just absolutely lost his mind. 95th minute, and for some reason he's absolutely lost his mind.
Well, they were 3-0 down at that still at that point as well. They hadn't even scored, had they?
No, and then they scored directly from the free kick after the loudest noise that the Town fans made all afternoon of a massive "your shit" just to try and wind him up, and then they go and scored off the back of it, which sort of sums our season up, doesn't it? And we can't even sledge people properly. But to be fair, they did give a little bit back when Hugo was throwing his elbows about earlier on in the it was in the first half. It must have been because we were playing that way, weren't we? So there is a little bit, but I take your point. It's not quite how you'd want it to be. You can imagine what would happen if this lot had got Wagner getting assaulted by what's his face, Gary Monk. What would this lot do? They'd probably just sit back and let it happen. So there's a way to go to get back to the team spirit levels of those types of teams. The 16-17 team obviously was a remarkable team. We all know that, but yeah, there's 1 or 2 little signs that I thought were better, but it's a very low bar, as you rightly say. There's not a lot there, or it doesn't feel to be a lot there, but there was more there this week than there was in previous games. And I think I don't know, you don't know, but 3 or 4 weeks ago, would we have got anything from that game? I don't know. We just felt like there's a little bit developing. So fingers crossed. You hope so.
Fingers crossed. And I know Gaz loves his XG, and I know everyone turns their nose up at XG. It's a load of bollocks. But I will look at some stats, and look, we have 15 touches in opposition box compared to their 11. I was surprised they had 11, to be honest. But if you look at our XG, 1.59 compared to 0.15 for Rotherham. To me, that says it showed that all our chances were in the centre of the box, really good position. Rotherham's were nowhere near spread out. And to me, that's really promising, because it's showing that the strikers are getting in the right positions for these chances. And not only that, we're actually starting to find them. So I think we've got to stick with this Bojan and May partnership up front and try and keep the team for as long as possible. Obviously barring injuries and suspensions. But I think things maybe are starting just to come together a little bit up there, because that's really encouraging to me. Because at one point we just weren't finding anybody, and I don't know whether that's now because we've got 2 up top a little bit easier. But to me, I think Bojan does make a difference up there with in terms of being able to get on the ball and bring people into play, make the ball stick up the pitch a little bit more, and long may that continue. Let's read a few comments out. CW, happy Christmas, mate. Good to see you again. Jed says we spent 3 million on Taylor, 4 or 5 on Castledine. No brain, I'm assuming he's putting there. Well, yeah, I mean, Kev, he's not scared of getting his wallet out. But listen, if we got promoted, maybe there'd be a chance, but I'm not sure. They like to recoup a shed loads of money. Chelsea, maybe it'd be out of our price bracket, but we may be getting some money back for Taylor at this rate. Who knows? Because not in the squad again. It's not looking good for Joe, is it, at this moment in time?
He were there though, wasn't he? He were at the game, just not selected.
Oh, was he? No.
Yeah. We're at Glenn Denning. We're on radio, and he was saying that he were there.
I mean, he has scored goals. He's scored 4 goals, but the problem is it's other aspects of his game. I think with Taylor. I think, you know, Alfie May, he'll rat around, he'll hassle people. And same with Dion, to be fair. They'll do the donkey work, the hard work. But with Joe Taylor, I don't see that enough. He sulks a bit too much to me when things aren't going his way. And I don't know if he's got that, he wants to be main man, but he's not going to be with strikers like me at the club. So I'm not sure with Joe Taylor if that's... I don't know. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know if there's been a clash or anything, or if he's just a bit disgruntled, or if he's just not quite on it and he's just not hit the heights that the others have. And Bojan and May are doing well together, and that keeps him out. I don't know, but you just sense that post come out from, was it who was the journalist that posted when he was left out?
Pete O'Rourke.
Yeah. Well, you don't see that normally, do you? So that smells of his agent getting onto that, trying to get a move somewhere. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with that.
He's a keen cricket fan, isn't he? So I think he's pissed off about the Ashes like the rest of us. So
I'm not. I couldn't give a shit.
I didn't even know Ashes were on.
We've been through this.
Okay. Yeah, the one thing that Taylor did go, it'd be a big wage off the wage bill. Big wage off the wage bill. He'd make room to bring in another proper senior player if he went. And I'm it's beginning to look like his time might be over when you've got Bojan and Charles in front of you week in, week out. You've got to start questioning whether you're going to be part of the plans of the club, because he's not injured, is he? They're saying it's just
selection. He just didn't get selected. Yeah.
But
we don't play to his strengths, though, do we?
Well, what are they? Being petulant, standing offside. Those are his strengths at the minute. But we haven't seen any really.
No,
when he first came on at Blackpool, I thought he was a belting player. He scored his first goal for us when he scored at Blackpool. I thought this kid's got something, and we've seen nothing like it since. To be fair, normally what they've done is they've had 2 forwards, 2 midfielders, and 2 defenders, and then a goalkeeper in the 7. So you'd think if May and Bojan are up front, that should leave room for Charles and Taylor. So has Grant changed what he's picking on the bench to mean that Taylor's not getting selected now? I've not really looked at who's been picked.
Well, I think he's putting Asher in front of him, isn't he? From an attacking point of view, I think Asher's in the squad.
Because that's more width. I think like Nick's hit the nail on the head. I think he wants to be May. And he ain't May, is he? Because he didn't put himself about. The only thing with Joe Taylor, I know this is going to sound fucking horrible, but all I've seen from him is his weight go up and down. He just looks, he looks chubby again to me. I know it sounds fucking bitchy because I'm no fucking Brad Pitt, but it looks to have put timber back on. At the start of the season, I thought, he looked up for it, he looked hungry. But if he's going to play little and large, it's Bojan and May, innit? And it ain't going to be May. It ain't going to be Taylor. And I think he wants to be that guy.
Sorry, Shep, I do feel a bit for Taylor. He was vaunted from the summer till January, wasn't he? That
he was going to be the thing, yeah.
I tried to rang him every week, all of it. And I said when we signed him, I said, I hope this lad don't feel the pressure of this. And he clearly does. And when he's played before, where he was successful at Lincoln, he was successful in a team that was really firing. He was the main man in the team that's really firing. We've been a team that's been absolutely dog shit for 18 months. And he's not capable of turning that on his own, is he? I think that's probably part of his frustration, that when he's played before, he's been the main man. He's gone into a team that's scoring goals, that's creating chances, and he's managed to get his share of those. Comes to us and he's got to get a ball in the halfway line, beat 8 men and smash it in top corner. Well, that's not his game, is it?
Yeah. Plays on behind, doesn't it? All highlights that we've seen at Lincoln, it were running in behind and ball over the top and stuff, and that was his game. We just haven't seen it, have we? Apart from Mickey Mouse Cup that he scored a couple in against Newcastle under 21s and stuff like that. It's not good for the lad, but where do you get rid of him? Who's going to come in and buy him for what we've paid for him? He'll go out on loan, won't he?
Well, Jed Robinson said loan, and I think that's probably more
on
the money, isn't it? let's not loan him to fucking Lincoln, and he scores 15 goals and takes them up. Let's
Loan him to
not
Bradford.
do a Town. Let's not be daft. But I can see him going somewhere else and scoring full of goals. I think as well, Gaz, he got injured, didn't he? He got injured after that Blackpool game, so he's had to recover from an injury as well as playing in a team that was shite. And like you say, he never really got a chance to get going properly. I think him and Bojan up front maybe could work, similar to him and May. But Alfie May is going to start before him, so I'm surprised he's not on the bench. I think he's more clinical than Dion. But what Dion Charles does do is he works, he hassles people, he's a handful. And does Joe Taylor do that enough? Not for me. And I think that's probably what Grant's not liking at the moment. But then it's up to him and his attitude, isn't it? If he wants to knuckle down and work hard. He was saying this, Lee Grant, about Bojan. He said he wasn't getting in the side, and we know how bad he's been for the last couple of years, really struggling. But he said, fair play to him, he's knuckled down. He's done exactly what I asked of him, and he's taken his chance when it came. And that's why he's still in the side, and that's what Joe Taylor's going to have to do. If he wants to move, clubs are going to have to see him do something before they sign him. So
we're no shortage of suitors at this level, though. No shortage of suitors at League One level. The problem you've got is, do we really want to...
Wages.
You say, Nick, do you really want him away scoring goals for a League One rival? Because he ain't going to go to Peterborough, is he? As you rightly say, he'll be at Lincoln or a Stevenage or someone like that, where it could come back to bite us on the arse, or a Bolton even come back to bite us on the arse.
And like you say, Steve, what's his wages like? Is he here for how many years has he signed for? About 18 years. It were a massive contract, wasn't it?
We're 3 plus an option.
It were more than we're about 4 or 5. It were massive. I'm sure.
4 plus an option.
Wasn't it? So equivalent to 5 years.
Yeah.
It must be on 10 grand a week, him. It was Cartwright's glory horse, wasn't it?
He was a real man.
Yeah, we'll see. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting when January comes around. I think there'll be a few ins and a few outs, but we need to freshen things up. To be fair, anyway, maybe Marcus McGuane will come in like a new signing. I'm still not fucking convinced he exists. 18 minutes he's played so far this season. He's Rolando Aaron's territory.
It'll be like a new signing.
Yeah. Oh. Ledson, I thought, did all right in the tackle for a change. I thought he had one of his better games. Joe Lowe, I thought, dealt with the aerial threat really well, and Murray Wallace battled away with Hugill, which isn't an easy task. I thought they did really well as well. Anyone else, guys, that stood out to you?
I thought Ledson had an okay game. I thought his post-match interview was fucking hilarious when he claimed we've been decent at home. Did you hear that? He said, we've been decent at home, we just need to have... I'm like, what? Fucking am I, mate? When did that happen then? If you look at over the last 6 games, our home form is no better than Port Vale's away form. We're getting 6 points out of the last 6 points out of the last 6 games at home. So, honestly, that's a bit my worry. He's the fucking captain, and his view is, we've done all right at home. I would suggest, I wouldn't say the 18,000, but we all know they're in 18,000 in the ground. The 8,000, the 8,000 might fucking disagree with you, my old pal. But I thought that he was okay. He plays his best when Hans is alongside him. He looks like a professional footballer when Hans plays alongside him. They're the best pairing we've got at the minute. I do wonder whether at some point he might. It's his captain, so he won't. But I'd like him to give Kasumu a run alongside Arnes at some point. Just get Kasumu's legs into the game a bit more. But I can't say. Yeah, he did all right, Nick. He did all right.
He did all right.
Wallace for me. I thought that's best game. I know it was a game made for him, but I thought he won every header, didn't he? He put himself about. That game were made for him, like I said. But I thought he's done really well since he's got back into the team. I was very sceptical of him. 50 pence said, but yeah, he never do. You don't know where the ball's going to go when it bounces off his head. But honestly, I was very impressed. I'll tip my hat to him. I thought he did really well on Saturday.
Steve B says win was needed. Good, but need to go on a run now. Don't think Grant the future. A few more wins and be right in the mix. Shows how shite League One is this season. I mean, it's not great, is it? I mean, it's good because it's so bad, I suppose, because anyone can beat anybody. Keeps it interesting. No one's going to run away with it. But it is bringing out this theme of, I'm looking through the comments and some of the comments on X as well saying, you know, is this just papering over the cracks? There's a lot of people that still aren't sold on Lee Grant at the moment. To be fair, I think he got his formation spot on for this and his selection. I don't think he really could have done much more. Are we seeing enough progress, guys, to think maybe he could take us forward? Because I don't think a lot, I've said it before, once Town fans make their mind up, it's very hard to then turn it round again. And I think a lot of fans are expecting this to be Grant's last game. But has he done enough to think, for you to think that he should be staying? Does he need to win the next couple of games to sway people?
To even get to a position of being willing to be swayed, I think he's got to win the next 2 games. I've been trying to think of an analogy to describe. It's just teetering on the edge all the time, and then he just seems to manage to pull it back so that there'll be a good result, and then we'll have a little bit of a dip, and then there'll be another good result, an expected result against a team that we would expect it to be, as in this game on Saturday. The thing for me is he's got to start doing it against the teams that we need to be competing against if we're going to get any chance of getting into the playoffs. So I think automatic's gone, to be honest. I can't. All right, we're only 6 points away from it, but with the consistency of the other teams that are above us, I just don't see that being a thing. We've got to find a way into the playoffs, and we've got to start beating teams from above us. And until then, you've got to say he's not done anything to. Now, you know me, I was firmly a Grantling, and you know what's been happening is I'd lost the faith, and I want the guy to do well. What little I know of him, he seems like a very decent bloke, but that we can't afford to just have nice guys anymore who can do a little bit of the PR stuff as he did early doors and sound like they're managerially competent. Others an argument about how much he overcomplicates it. In my view, I'm not convinced. But he so for me, if he gets the next 2 wins, which you would expect him to be Port Vale and Northampton at home, if he doesn't do that, untenable for me. But it's always going to be that until he gets a real brilliant, like Duff had a run last year that with a 14-15 game run where we picked up a real good run of results. He's got to pull something like that out of the bag to convince me that he's the right man for the job. And that would put us right into a position of strength. But he just hasn't done it so far. So things have got to change. Congratulations on winning on Saturday. That's a great start. You've got to do it again and again and again and again. And if you don't, that says to me that the message that you've been trying to get across for the last 6 months still hasn't landed. So then we need to change the message. Because you ain't going to change all the players, so that's what happens, isn't it?
Stop saying position of strength, Andy. I'm getting flashbacks, mate, from before. It's it's tough, isn't it? And that's my fear, guys. That we've got Port Vale who are absolutely garbage, and with the greatest of respect to Port Vale fans, but they are really struggling at the moment. If we don't beat them, then it's an instant dismissal for me. But then we've got Northampton at home, which is also you have to win games like that, and that's not. I'm not being disrespectful to Northampton, the mid-table, the 12th, I think, in the league, so they're solid. But when you're going in for promotion, you have to beat these sides. My concern is we'll beat those 2. Everyone will think it's all hunky-dory roses again, and then we'll go to Lincoln and. Other than Stevenage, who we beat earlier in the season, every time we've come up against a half-decent side in this league, we've failed miserably. So I'm fully expecting us to win the next 2 and then go to Lincoln. Fans will be in full voice, packed out away end, and then we'll lose 3-0. Do we really have the balls to go somewhere like Lincoln, who are second, who are tough, full of confidence, and go and get that statement result to say we are serious contenders for promotion?
He needs to break that hoodoo, though, doesn't he, Nick? He needs to somehow Because I was just looking, they've got them 3 games, and then the 3 games after, you've got Exeter, Stockport, and Burton. So it's another one where you've got 2 really winnable games either side of a tough one. So, you know, that he could in the next 6 games quite easily win 4 and still be getting earache off the Town fans because he doesn't win. He doesn't win either of the 2 that, in our eyes, really matter. So he has to break this hoodoo of not beating any teams in the top 6 or 8. When you look at the points, currently we're on. What are we on? We're on 31 points. We're 7 points off second, but we're only 8 points off 20th. So, you know, we're as near to the bottom 4 as we are to the automatic promotion places. If we lose on Saturday, we could drop to 11th. So, you know, losing to Port Vale, not only would it be a disaster from I'm trying to think of the right word. I mean, just be a disaster, wouldn't it? I can't think of a better word than it really would be an absolute disaster if we lose. It also put us back again, you know, more than 1 win away from being in the top 6. We're now 1 win away from getting back into the top 6 if we win. I think he'll win the next 2 games. I think we'll beat Vale. I think we'll beat Northampton, and then I think we're going to get tubbed at Lincoln. I think then we'll scrape wins against Burton and Exeter, and we'll lose to Stockport away. I don't see that. I can't see how that cycle's going to get broken. But if he wins 4 out of the next 6, 12 points, it's going to put us right in the mix.
We're still in it, aren't
we? For the playoffs. It'll put us right in the mix for the playoffs. So, but he's got to at some point break this hoodoo, and he's got to get a victory, and not just a win, but a good win, a performance win against a statement win. As Jed just said, it is right. We need a statement win against either Lincoln or Stockport. I think if you do that and take 9 or 10 points off the other 4, suddenly the belief's right back, and we're into January, aren't we? Because I still don't know whether Kev's gonna learn his lesson with Moore, where he kept him and then sacked him second week of February, whatever it was, or whether he's going to pull the pin on Grant and give whoever comes in a chance to get the transfer window done.
Yeah. At some point, we're going to have to get a win against a decent side, because we're not. It's like saying we're going to win all these, but we thought that against Burton and teams like where we've come a cropper and we've ended up drawing because we've not been quite on it. We have to beat Port Vale. We'll get on to predictions and stuff in a minute, but if we don't beat them, surely it's got to be curtains, hasn't it? It's got to be. It's just because the thing is as well, guys. It's not just where we are, the points behind. We've played more games than everyone else. Like you look at Barnes and think, oh, Barnsley are okay side. We're ahead of them, and then you notice they've got 3 games on us. Like or is it 4? It's like 3 or 4 games on us. Like bloody hell, yeah. 3. So, you know, quite a lot of these sides have a game in hand on Town. We've got a lot of catching up to do. Losing 8 games this stage of the season is not great for top 2 prospects. But luckily, this league is very, very open. It's not like last season. So we've still got a chance, but we've got to at some point, we've got to get on a run of 4 or 5 wins. And if you do that, you'd be right up there. If we don't, and we just go on this continuous cycle of a couple of wins, a draw, defeat, we're going nowhere, are we? Like, let's be honest. Andy, mate, I know you want to talk about the supporters on Saturday, so I'll let you start us off, mate, into this convo. So, what's your interest, mate? Go on.
So there were several things that I found interesting. There were the chanting of the old chants. And it didn't old feel players. Like the old players. So like the Kachunga chant came out, Colin Kwana, people were just shouting random names from around me, and then the chant would happen. I just didn't understand it. So, and then there's we're 2-0 up, and then there's the chant of Lee Grant, your football's still shy. Come on. What is the point in that? What point are you making? That just makes you look silly. Critique like that when you're 2-0 up, if you made the effort to go to an away game and your team are winning, to then support the team in a way like that just makes no sense to me. The grown-ups, they can make their own decisions. It just makes absolutely no sense to me at all. I gave one of my Paddington stares in the general direction of where I thought the chanting was coming from, and it obviously had no effect whatsoever, and nor should it have any effect. And everybody's entitled to do whatever they want to do. It just seems to me, I don't know what the point is that they're trying to make. Is that they know better, that they could manage the team better than Grant? Well, there's a moot point there, probably, actually, compared to how we've been all season, potentially. But it just doesn't make sense. If they'd have been 2-0 down, you can't really have much of a problem with us firing into them. But when we're 2-0 up away from home and things are going relatively smoothly and you're chanting that, just makes no sense to me at all. So I wish they'd focused their energy on support, because I think Ledson talked about how I think he over-egged it a bit about how brilliant we were. I didn't think we were that brilliant. And if he'd have been able to listen to the chanting, it clearly just indicates to me that they don't really understand. They just hear the level of noise. They don't hear the specific chant. And then at about 10 minutes before the end, Lee Grant give us a wave. What's that designed to do other than embarrass the fella? Because if he doesn't wave back, he looks like a rude mug. If he does look back, it's like, we've got him on strings. What's the point? Leave the guy alone. You don't rate him, so just leave him to it. You can't change anything that he's going to do. That's just a mug's game for me. That I just childish. So, and if anybody wants to have a chat to me about that, I'll be in the cowshed on there, and I'll quite happily have a conversation with you about it, because I just think it's wrong. I just don't see the point in it. But I'm a miserable old bugger that doesn't view life the way that you do. But beyond me, that.
Do you think, Andy, that some of the fans going, and this is harping back to what I was saying about when fans make their mind up, it's very hard to check. What's Gaz doing? It's very hard to check. Get a little tour there of his office. He's going again.
He's got a proper microphone and everything.
Do you think there's a bit of that in the? Do you think there were fans there that wanted us to lose so that Lee Grant would get sacked? Do you think he's so far gone that the fans honestly don't care what happens at this point?
Social media, Nick, there absolutely was fans saying they hope we lose so he gets sacked. You listen to social media. I mean, I can't compute ever wanting him to lose. I can't get me around that. Why would you want to go and see your team lose? That doesn't compute with me either. But I think the whole previous, Man United do that all the time, by the way, Andy. I go to many Man United away games. But Man United away, they do those at Man United games. They sing the Cantona songs and sing the Beckham songs and the gig songs, and it's just part of the noise and part of the day and part of the tribute and part of who they are. So I won't get too hung up on that. And the Lee Grant give us away thing was absolutely toe curling, absolutely toe curling. And he looked the other way when he did it. By the way, he wouldn't even look at the crowd.
He wouldn't look at him.
That's why he did it.
And then the other thing, this fella who's tweeted, I don't know his name, that Lee Grant shushed the crowd. 100 million billion% Lee Grant did not do that. So if you've got to put stuff like that on your Twitter to get likes of your videos and to get people to watch your content, pack it in. Absolutely. Telling lies is absolutely not the way to promote your content. Just have general banal banter like we do. It's far more effective.
It makes you a bigger version than people who do podcasts.
Yeah. That's just shocking. Why would you tell lies? And you are.
He didn't shush. I mean, he didn't come over, to be fair. So we wouldn't have seen it anyway. We wouldn't have noticed.
It was sort of between the...
If you're singing Lee Grant, your football's still shite, I'm not surprised.
I'm not going anywhere near it. I mean, to me, it don't need it.
3-0 up, mate. It wasn't just at 2-0 up. I heard that. We're 3-0 up away from home. And
you're getting that.
But this is what I mean. And look, I get that people are annoyed. And there is that fear that, look, we're going to win a couple of games. But actually, it's just disguising the fact that he's not good enough, because we're beating teams that are far inferior in terms of squad quality, and when we come up against someone good, we'll lose, and we're not going anywhere. So they want to get him out. So for the long-term future, and all this and that. But it can change very, very quickly. You know, Bradford fans were saying about Alexander last season that, oh, it's shite, we want him out, football's awful, we're not winning games. Suddenly, they found a winning formula, it clicked, and now look, that can happen with Lee Grant. I'm not convinced. You know, but a lot of the football's been awful. He should be doing a lot better with the players he's got. But sometimes he's a new manager, and this is what you sign up for when you take these types of managers. Isn't it, Steve? Like
he's a rookie manager learning on the job.
Yeah,
this is what we signed up to. Look at Cardiff when we didn't go for Barry. Cardiff didn't get out of the blocks quick. Now that top at league and everybody's saying, "Oh, Barry, we should have gone for him. He's singing out of his ass and stuff." He's a rookie manager. We're just gonna have to bear with it, in my opinion. I'm not out because I'm just sick of sacking managers. I don't want to be known as Watford and North. I think we've got to give him this season. If we don't get into playoffs and he fails, then let's have that question. But for now, just let him get on with his job. He's slowly learning. Gone to a back three now, haven't we? It looks a bit more settled with Rolls Royce and 50p head and Joe Lowe. You know what I mean? He's slowly learning. You've just got to give him a bit of leeway. All this lark about it's fickle, isn't it? There's some right idiots on X. So you've just got to take it with a pinch of salt and they're not proper fans, are they?
I get the passion, but you can't go to the point of making stuff up, and you can't go to the point of being abusive to people like that. And it's not helping anyone. It's not doing any good for the football club whatsoever, is it?
Totally agree.
And talking of idiots, there were a video come out in Leeds that we were discussing just before we come on here that somebody mentioned on X as well. Chris Watson, town players fighting in Leeds, lol. Some other idiot antagonising the players. I think it were Kane and Arnes in Leeds in some bar on Ball Lane, I think. Why? Again, this is a town fan. I thought you were a Leeds fan when someone was telling me, because I thought, well, why would a town fan go up and start antagonising and hurling abuse? But no, it's a town fan. I don't get it. I don't get what that's doing. I don't understand why you would do that to your own players, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
But the players can be putting themselves in that position, and people are going to go, "Oh, they're entitled to go out for a beer," and yeah, they are. You know, if you're not go for a meal somewhere with your girlfriend and have a couple of pints, don't go to Leeds City Centre at Christmas when you're out injured and have been for several months, and put yourself in that position. You know, the amount of science and and nutrition and advice they get, and they tracked every step of a game and the weight, and how does that fit with going out and having beer? You know, this isn't Ronnie Jackson's area, is it? Where he used to stop at Castle Hill Hotel and have 9 pints a night. It's not there anymore, is it? So, you know, they'd have to put themselves in that position. And then the lad that was involved in it, if you are a town fan, you're a prick. I mean, A, to antagonise him, and B, then video him chasing somebody around. I mean, what is wrong with you? I mean, I just get a life, mate. You're worse than they are. But the players put themselves in that position. Ridiculous. They should know better. You know, and by the way, Herbie Kane's the one that's been swanning off to Dubai.
Dubai, wasn't it? Yeah.
Posting photos on Instagram. So he's not showing great judgment, is he? Himself. But I mean, what a joke. It makes us a laughing stock.
I don't mind them going out for a beer, but don't shit on your own doorstep. At least go further afield.
It could be non-alcoholic beer, though, for all we know. We ain't got a clue what they do. Do you know what I mean? It's not. At the end of the day, it's up to club, and if he's swigging ale, he's not going to get inside, is he? He's going to be binned off. So that's up to club to decide what's right and not, and what they can and can't do. And if they want a good career, then they'll stick to it, won't they? But what's the point in being an arsehole and going in offering them out early abuse and why? What's the point of that? I don't get it at all. I don't get it. It just, like you said, Gaz, it's just another fucking circus, isn't it, to act at long list of them out there at the moment, which we really don't need right now. But it just shows the unrest at the moment. And can you imagine if that goal had gone in at Rotherham that were disallowed, what it would have been like in that stand, the kind of chance that have come out with? If they're singing your football shite when we're 3-0 up, what would have they been like at 1-0 down? Let's hope we don't go a goal down to Port Vale at home, because that the Sea's going to be cracking in it. Nice Boxing Day goal.
The killer in crowd, isn't it? When they go 1-0 up, and you were looking for killer in crowd like that. Up a tier.
Right, let's look ahead then. Come on, Port Vale at home. Are we going to get Darren Moore? Surely not. Surely not. Come on, they've lost 4 out of the last 6. Bottom at league, they've got 15 points, I think. They last won a league game. I was looking. They last won a league game on 27th of September. Now, I'm not being funny. If we don't get a result against them, he's got to go on it.
Scripted now.
He's got to walk. If we don't beat them, we can't. Surely it's not going to be a shitty 0-0, is it? Where we hit bar 5 times and Bojan blazes over from 3 yard, and they somehow do a Burton and just throw everyone up line and cling on for 0-0. Surely we're not going to have one of them again. You've got to be beating these 2 or 3-0. Without question.
If you don't win comfortably, I don't even think a scrappy win's good enough. I think he has to win, and we have to win comfortably. And same against Northampton. And Northampton is a much tougher game than probably most people think as well. I went and watched them away, and they gave us a game to Northampton. It wasn't great quality, but they know how to play against us. And Kevin Nolan, he's a wily bugger, isn't he? So he has to win comfortably against Vale, and then he has to find a way to win against Northampton. And I think if he don't win both games, I think he's a goner anyway.
They'll be gone. Yeah. I know Martin Devaney from the gym round the corner. He still lives in Penistone, and he's a top bloke. He's a really nice guy, and we often have chats. Quite often when Town have lost, he might come over and have a word. But I haven't seen him for a little while, so I'm hoping when I next see him in the gym that I've got I kind of go with a smile on my face. But it's the classic banana skin, that game. You've got to bear in mind that we haven't beaten Northampton in the last 3 attempts that I can remember. They beat us twice home and away last season. We drew at theirs. So there's absolutely no guarantee for me there of getting anything from that. But if we want to be taken seriously, 2 home games against teams that are in their situation are the type of games that we should be winning, and we should be winning comfortably. And it's not like teams like Northampton or teams like Port Vale. That's what a promotion contending side has to do. The things that the likes of Birmingham and Wrexham did last year consistently was, it might have been 1-0, it might have been 2-0, but they consistently worked out ways to beat teams that would probably come and try and block the shit out of it for 90 minutes. So we've got to find a way to break that down, I think. And if we don't, I think if he loses Saturday, if he gets a draw Saturday, he's gone. It's just a matter of, he just keeps going on to the next one, until the next one, until the next one, until how many has he got to get in a row before we go, okay, we're happy that there's a consistent set of form there that we can say, right, this is, if we do lose a game, it's a blip rather than a sign of something deeper. So yeah, a lot on it on these next 2 games, and then the game at Lincoln, that's a big one. And then I think, who have we got? Is it Exeter on the 4th?
Not Port Luton,
yeah. So
can I just say, Andy, the most amazing thing about that story is you go to a gym.
Yeah, I know.
Are you sure?
I don't do anything.
Sauna and cafe.
I go, and I sit there and I watch my son train. It's great. I work out and everything.
There you go.
I work out and everything. I'll show you. I'll put some screenshots in WhatsApp of my workouts, and you can follow them if you want.
Is anyone going to Lincoln?
Yeah,
I am.
No, I'll be away.
He's in bloody Nashville. He's clicking his cowboy heels in chuffing Nashville. That kid.
Yeah. I'm going with a mate. I'll be in the home end. So if there's a punch up, it'll be me. Ooh. So I'll have to not jump up when we score as 5th.
Nasty Nick.
Right, let's get some predictions then. Port Vale at home. We'll clip this for when for the next show when we've lost 1-0.
Yeah.
But come on, let's Gaz. What's your prediction for Port Vale?
I'm gonna go 2-0 Town.
2-0 Town. Andy?
Yeah, stick to my prediction. I was going to go that as well. 2-0 Town.
Steve?
3-0.
3-0. I'll say 3-0 as well. I can't see it for Port Vale. I
they're
just
shit,
I just
aren't
think they're really. Well, we're going to try and be a bit nicer than that, Steve. But limited, I was going to say because limited.
We've all watched Darren Moore's football, haven't we? So we know what they're they're going through.
They started quite well. Like they got some decent wins, and then it's just gone south
in September.
Yeah.
Is Headley still playing for Jim? Headley's going to get ball, isn't he? Halfway line, jink, smash it in top corner.
Smash it in corner.
Yeah.
Thought he was injured, but I'm not sure.
Well, if he's a Town player, he'll be injured, won't he?
He'll be injured, yeah.
Every player linked to Town just gets injured. Northampton at home. Prediction, Gaz?
I think it'll be 2-1. I think you might finally find a way past Northampton, but yeah, I don't think that's going to be a pretty game. I think Vale, after with the confidence bugs from last Saturday, I would hope we can play a bit of football and turn it on. But Northampton's going to be a slog. We're going to need to show some mettle to beat that team.
Yeah.
Andy?
I'm just looking. I know Headley played in the last game, so I would imagine he'll be starting. So he's back and fit. 1-0 Town in off Bojan's arse, and then a big heart to Gaz in upper tier.
Steve?
3-1 for me.
3-1. Jed Robinson says the same. 3-1 against the Cobblers. 3-0 Town against Port Vale. Do you know what, guys? I'm going to be a right miserable bastard and say 1-1 because I just feel Northampton, it's Burton Mark 2 for me, where everyone looks at it on paper and says, oh, well, it's, almost brush it off as a foregone conclusion that we're going to win at home. Rarely do.
Can we just check the comments? Northampton. Can we just check the comments? There's a significant comment just come in. Jed Robinson is at the Port Vale game.
Is he going to be? Is he in Couch? Is he with you in Cowshed?
Mr. Robinson, we need to say hello to. We're spread around the ground. He's at posh seats. His Gaz above me. Nick, are you on Kilnabank somewhere like that, or are you?
No. I'm in Riverside, but I'm lower, mate. I'm one of the plebs at lower row underneath.
Steve, where do you sit, Steve?
Behind you in Cowshed, under that massive TV.
Right.
Sits next to you, mate. You just can't be out talking to him.
You're not talking to him. Not talking to him.
Where do you sit, Steve? 2 seats down.
That's brilliant.
Too busy fighting off fans of this podcast. We're loved in the Cowshed.
Well, no one ever comes to me, mate. No one ever recognises me.
Well,
because I look,
Jed,
5
you know what we look like
in real life, in person.
Let's put a face to the name. So get yourself. I am Jed Robinson T-shirt, and then we'll all know, and we'll come and say hello on Boxing Day.
I just think it'll be a draw, and it'll be that awful scenario where we've won the last 2, but we've also dropped points against the side that we should win. It's very Grant era-esque, that scenario, and I can see that playing out, and then getting absolutely bummed at Lincoln. Gaz, what are your predictions for Lincoln, mate? I'll put Michael Bottomley's prediction up. Get your thoughts for Lincoln as well, guys, because that's a much tougher test, obviously.
I just can't see him. I just can't see us winning. It's a tight ground. They're really good at home, aren't they? They're really good at home. They know what they're doing. They're established now. They play a certain way, which we sometimes struggle with. Maybe we might have a bit more joy, as you said, Steve. Money Wallace is starting to just show a bit in it. So maybe we're going to be a bit tougher away from home than we have been. But I was looking at the goals. Well, actually, did you know we're the second highest scorer in League One? By the way?
Oh yeah, we score loads, mate. We just can't. We just concede loads as well. That's a problem.
Yeah, well, there's only we have got the second worst goal difference. So we've got the second best goal scored and the second worst goals conceded. The only team that's conceded more goals than us is second bottom. So I think that might be the key thing. If we can start to just be a bit tighter away from home and maybe 3 at the back with Wallace Lowe and the Rolls Royce is the answer. But I just think Lincoln will have a bit too much for us on the day. I think it'll be probably a sneaky 1-0 win for Lincoln, I think.
1-1.
1-1.
Nice
one.
I was going to go defeat, but I'm going to be quite positive now, and I'm going to say 2-2.
2-2.
Excited.
Yeah.
Desmond.
Yeah, I think
End to
I
end.
think we might. Yeah, I think we might just get in that groove and might do them because it's like you say, very Grant-esque. We'll probably beat the teams we should do, scrape a couple of wins out of these poor teams, and then normally we go and play a big team and get arseholed.
Good arsehole. So yeah.
I think this time I'm going to be a bit positive, and I am going to this one because I have been a bit slack and I've been working instead of going down and watching games, and I've been to many away games this time. So hopefully I'm going, and I'm going to go 2-2.
Wait, have you been on diplomatic duty? Is that why you've not been going to grounds for you?
Well, I've just got to work, to be honest.
Yeah, in the diplomatic corps. They're
being
fucking shite there, man.
self-employed.
They're shit and all. They're shit and all. Yeah.
I'd like to say that, but no, being
Huddersfield
self-employed.
diplomacy. Yeah.
And if it rains on a Monday,
same, mate. Yeah.
I don't work, and if it's dry on a Saturday, and the football's shit, so I didn't go to a Wigan game. No, yeah, so.
Yeah,
but I am.
Right.
It's Christmas, so I've got some time off. No, I didn't. No.
I'm going with Michael on this one. 2-1 Lincoln. Merry Christmas. I just don't. I think Lincoln are a bloody good side and away from home. Look, Town need to do it. They need to go to a Lincoln or a Stockport and get a result. We've talked about this, haven't we?
But to be fair, they have done this season already, haven't they?
In Tin Pot Cup, we beat them.
In Tin Pot Cup, you know. I'm sure they'll be quaking in the boots on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just before his comment disappears, Jed, drink boys. Well, depends on where you are and what you're going to be doing. So I think if he slides into our DMs on Twitter, is it at Town Social or at the Town Social?
Yeah, the Town Social, yeah.
So, well, I'm sure we can sort something out, Jed. If I don't know how many, any of you, why not we all just have a Boxing Day beverage somewhere, you know?
And come on here and all, because it can't just be us four.
Yeah, it can't just be us
all the time.
Whittling on about stuff. Please come on. We've the more the merrier. It's the social for a reason. So yeah, feel free.
That's how I did it, didn't I? Speaking of Northampton, I called you at Northampton.
Yeah,
we were fed up with him commenting, so we thought we'd better get him on just to get rid of his comments.
Never could get a word in anyways for him.
This could be you.
Jed's also asked a question about who's still injured and who gets moved on. Somebody did also, and I'm just trying to find in the comments, ask about injured players. I mean, nothing really ever changes, does it? It's the same message, just a little update in the notes, in the little asterisks under, and oh yes, and Watmore still out, Al's still out. Grant did say that Redmond and Al's hopefully will be on the way back soon. Watmore, the last I heard, had a setback, but I've no idea. I mean, you can chip in with this guys, but I've no idea when he's due back. Herbie Kane, I mean, he's on the beer, so I don't know. I don't know if he'll be back anytime soon. And Marcus McGuane, I've given up hope I've ever seen him again. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what's, because he never mentioned. He never talks about him. He just says he's got a permanent groin injury, but I don't know what's happened there. Whether he's Evans, I think he'll be out probably for most of the season again. He's had a major setback there, hasn't he? Poor lad, but still a lot out, guys. Potentially, important players for us. Any more news, guys, that I haven't heard? That's all I've got really on that. No. CW had a nightmare last night. Darren Moore 0-1. Mishandled. Yeah, no, don't say that, mate. I can't even imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like if it's 1-0 Vale. It'll be awful. Absolutely awful. It can't. Surely not. 2-0 Vale. Oh.
Christ.
Oh, no. Right, on that note, let's do it. We'll call it a day.
Stop it off.
What's Jed? What's he saying here? Let's bring this one up. I'm in Bangkok next Monday. I'll look out for Herbie Kane, yeah. Yes.
Very good, that.
As always, guys, thank you so much for all your comments. It means a lot to us. Well, it makes the show. There wouldn't be a show without the show, doesn't it? Yeah. I'd love to do like a little phone in where people could just like tap in and just say their piece on what they thought. Do you know, like Radio Leeds phoning, but good. Do you know what I mean? That'd been that, but I don't think we've got that facility. But yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to come on, yeah, like I say, just DM us on X on the Town Social feed, or want to come out for a drink with us on Boxing Day, and we'll sort that out. But yeah, thank you so much for your comments, and have an amazing Christmas and New Year, everybody. And just let's hope for a better second half of the season. Let's hope the new year brings an upturn in fortune. But guys, Steve, Andy, thank you so much, guys. Pleasure as always. And yeah, take care, guys. We'll see you all again soon. Up the town.
There's a team that is dear to its followers. The colours are bright blue and white. They're a team of renown, and they're the pride of the town. And the game of football is their delight. And all the while upon the field of play, thousands loudly cheer them on the way. Often you can hear them say, who can beat the town today? And then the bells will ring so merrily, every goal shall be a memory. So town, play up and bring that cup back to Huddersfield. So town, play up and bring the cup back to Huddersfield.